Titanic, the true story of the world's most famous ship. In the early 1900s, the world was entering a new era of technology and innovation. Nations competed to build bigger, faster, and more luxurious ships than ever before. Among them was a ship that would become legendary. Its name was Titanic. Built by the White Star Line, Titanic was designed to be the largest passenger ship in the world. Construction began in Belfast, Ireland, and thousands of workers spent years building the enormous vessel. When completed, Titanic measured nearly 270 meters in length and weighed more than 46,000 tons. The ship featured luxurious cabins, elegant dining rooms, a swimming pool, a gymnasium, and the famous Grand Staircase. Many people believe Titanic represented the peak of human engineering. Some newspapers even described it as practically unsinkable. On April 10, 1912, Titanic departed from Southampton, England, on its maiden voyage to New York City. More than 2,200 passengers and crew members were on board. The passengers came from many different backgrounds. Some were wealthy businessmen and celebrities traveling in first class. Others were immigrants hoping to start a new life in America. As Titanic crossed the Atlantic Ocean, life on board seemed perfect. Passengers enjoyed fine dining, music, and spectacular ocean views. The crew carried out their duties as the giant ship sailed westward. For several days, everything went according to plan. However, danger was waiting ahead. On April 14, Titanic entered an area known to contain drifting icebergs. Throughout the day, the ship received multiple warnings from nearby vessels. Several messages reported large ice fields directly in Titanic's path. Despite these warnings, the ship continued moving at high speed. That evening, the North Atlantic Ocean was unusually calm. The sea was so still that it became difficult for lookouts to spot icebergs. Shortly before midnight, two lookouts noticed a massive iceberg directly ahead. The warning bell rang immediately. The bridge was alerted. Officers quickly ordered the ship to turn and attempted to avoid the collision. But the iceberg was too close. At approximately 11:40 p.m., Titanic struck the iceberg. The collision seemed minor to many passengers. Some barely felt anything at all. However, beneath the surface, the iceberg had torn open several compartments along the ship's side. Water began rushing into the vessel. Ship designer Thomas Andrews soon realized the terrible truth. Too many compartments had been damaged. Titanic was going to sink. The crew began preparing lifeboats. At first, many passengers were reluctant to leave the warm and brightly lit ship. Some believed there was no real danger. Others could not imagine that such a massive vessel could sink. As time passed, the situation became more serious. Orders were given to load women and children into the lifeboats first. Unfortunately, Titanic carried lifeboats for only a fraction of the people on board. Many boats were launched only partially full because the scale of the disaster was not yet understood. As the freezing Atlantic water continued entering the ship, the bow slowly sank lower. Passengers began realizing the severity of the situation. Panic started spreading across the decks. Families became separated. People searched desperately for seats in the remaining lifeboats. Musicians continued playing music to calm frightened passengers. Their bravery would later become one of the most remembered stories of the disaster. Around 2 a.m., Titanic's angle became increasingly steep. The stern rose high above the water. Lights flickered throughout the ship. Then the unthinkable happened. The enormous vessel broke apart. The front section disappeared beneath the ocean. Moments later, the remaining section followed. At approximately 2:20 a.m. on April 15, 1912, Titanic vanished beneath the Atlantic Ocean. More than 1,500 people lost their lives. Hundreds of survivors remained in lifeboats surrounded by freezing darkness. Many waited for hours before help arrived. Eventually, the passenger ship Carpathia reached the area and rescued the survivors. News of the disaster shocked the world. People everywhere struggled to understand how the most advanced ship of its time could be lost on its very first voyage. Investigations followed. As a result, major changes were made to maritime safety regulations. Ships were required to carry enough lifeboats for everyone on board. Ice patrols were established to monitor dangerous iceberg regions. Radio communication rules were also improved. More than a century later, Titanic remains one of the most famous ships in history. Its story has inspired books, documentaries, and films watched by millions around the world. The Titanic disaster serves as a powerful reminder that even humanity's greatest achievements are not immune to nature's power. The ship may have disappeared beneath the ocean, but its story continues to live on forever.